Despite the past week and the election results being really shitty, another miracle happened to me on Tuesday night last week. I actually went to dinner with my husband, and when we were at dinner having tacos here in Texas, we were taking a break from all the election hoo-ha, and I just very calmly said, there's only one thing I'm really disappointed I wasn't able to create for myself this year, and that was going to Taylor Swift. And it was something I had really wanted. I had actually bought tickets to the London show. I paid way too much for them, and I bought them through the European version of StubHub, and then I got terrified that they wouldn't be valid and that I would spend all this money, and so I got a refund, all but $15, and which is a whole nother story. And I have wanted to go, but I also have a lot of limited physical capacity, and so going to concerts in general is like one of my but I have like 5 people on my list that I would go to. And of course I've really wanted to go to the Taylor Swift concert, and I have 2 what I would call menopause era friends, Swifties over 50, who I just love. I did a small group coaching workshop last year called Define Your Eras, and I've just gotten so much joy from Taylor Swift over last year. Well, I told my husband this, and then I also told my husband I think I'd like to go see Niagara Falls. Maybe I told my mom and sister that, and I know that's so silly. I didn't realize Niagara Falls was near Toronto. We came home, we turned on the TV Tuesday night, and we're watching election results start to come in, and my phone rang, and it was my friend Karen. And we were in the middle of something, so I didn't answer. And a few minutes later, she texted me and said, "What are you doing next Thursday night?" And I knew it. That girl had tickets for Toronto for Taylor Swift. And I had looked for those, and I had fumbled around with Ticketmaster because they re-released some. And I had thought in my head and told my other friend Jody, who's also a Swiftie, I was like, somehow we're gonna figure this out, and I'm gonna figure this out, and wouldn't it be nice? But I am not gonna stress my body. For those of you who don't know, I had a heart attack, and so I still have some residual fear about putting myself under too much stress. Need therapy for that still. But I am not gonna break my back to get these tickets. And I had resigned on Tuesday night. I was like, that's one thing that, like, we're coming to the end, the last few shows, and just a little bit of sadness that I was never able to make it happen. And sure enough, my friend Karen has 2 seats in the very first arena, decent, like really, actually not decent, really good seats, face value Ticketmaster seats. And so I am flying to Cleveland, where she lives, and we are driving 4 hours to Toronto to go see the Eras tour on Thursday night next week. My plane ticket was $3. My Eras tour ticket was face value, $600. And it's just now settling in. I know this is long, but this is worth it. So as a midlifer, I feel tired and worn down. I know many of you probably feel tired and worn down. Like, just the shit has hit the fan. And this Taylor Swift has been something that has been very fun and very joyful for me over the last few years. It's something I connect with my parents on, who are Trumpers, which is not my favorite thing in the world. And it's something we find joy in. And so it has brought a lot of joy. And as I sat down this morning in my I have this little dashboard that I do, and I was like, I gotta get my coaching business, it's time to get back into gear with my coaching business. And right smack in the middle of the week is this Eras Tour concert. And as I start to feel into the energy of this, I realize that everything I have ever personally wanted. Now listen, things I want globally, I'm not quite that big of a manifester yet. And I'm reluctant to use the word manifest because I don't like the new agey version of it. But I do realize that I am a cultivator of my life. I have a lot of power in my life. I have a lot of ability. I have a lot of privilege. I have a lot of intention. And so I don't mean on this just magical way, but kind of magical. Anyways, I look up and these tickets are basically this opportunity is just hand delivered into me, and it is something I really desired. And then I'm able to see how over the last year my business being kind of flatline. I have a handful of wonderful clients who I love, but definitely not as financially prosperous as I've been for 20 years, and starting to feel the anxiety about that. And I realized this morning, I was like, oh, I haven't wanted in my business. Like, yeah, I kind of want, but I haven't like desire in my heart. And then this morning I was doing some content around midlife and setting some things up to go off on my social media channels while I'm out of town. And I saw one of my old posts, and it was a post of me. It was a post of me at the house I used to live in, sitting in a little kiddie pool in this red swimsuit, looking at my phone. And I was just laughing because I knew that I wanted a pool in my backyard, and my husband really didn't. And 2 years ago, I had saved up the cash to have a pool installed in my backyard. And this morning I was out, looking and doing, God, my backyard is just beautiful. I love my backyard and my pool. And so all these reminders. And listen, I know that there has been a lot of disappointment, and you can ask any one of my clients if there is any ever a coach that will just honestly commiserate with you for a while, not forever, but really acknowledge the even subtle disappointments and pains. It's me, because that shit was bypassed for me forever. And you know inside when you want to start telling a new story. And so today is just really, I actually prayed in one of my little prayer journals where I write letters to love. And I said, love, I need some help with my drive. And not 2 minutes later, I start all this Taylor Swift stuff, and I talked to my friend that we're going with, and we have a 4-hour drive, and her coaching business is kind of flatline too. She's lost both of her parents in the last couple of years. And so it's like, how can we leverage our ability, remembering, and this girl power, and this, like, I can do it with a broken heart, and it doesn't mean we're fake, but with all this going on, we can still choose a lot of things. There's a lot we can't choose. I am not denying that. And by God, I am not going to let life beat me down. And yeah, so I just wanted to share that. Not only I'm very excited to go, so excited to go, and comfort is my main priority. If you know me at all, you know that comfort is my number one value. I hate to admit it, but it is. And, but it is a reminder that anything I really want. So my only other question going forward is, Allison, what do you want? And I think a lot of times as women, we stop letting ourselves desire, because desire takes effort. And if you've gone through a survival season in life, or are in survival mode right now, it's hard to even imagine thriving. And so maybe it's not something big like flying across to another country to go to a Taylor Swift concert or putting a pool. Maybe it's just the next best thing, whatever that is. Sminy. What does sminy mean, Allison? Small, tiny desire. Thanks for watching.